it would be very difficult to understand how a party could now refuse to attend bilateral negotiations simply because of a disagreement over the site of those negotiations. A way must be found to send signals of peace and reconciliation that affect the peoples of the region. Don't wait for the other side to start. Each of you needs to get off the mark and get off of it quickly.
Leon Charney, and this is the Leon Charney Report. I am not in Taba, I'm not in Bahrain, I'm not in Saudi Arabia, I'm not in Moscow, I'm in Madrid, and we are covering the Peace Conference in Madrid for you. Obviously, you'll know how the events occurred from your local or national news media, but we will tell you how it all happened, why it happened, when it happened, what the crucial inside dope was. Stay tuned. You speak English?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Egypt.
Salam alaikum.
Salam.
So what do you think? Is going to be a good peace conference?
Why not? If there's a goodwill, why not?
How is the peace treaty working out with Israel?
Pardon?
How's the peace treaty with Israel? It's working okay?
I think it's okay. No problem.
No problem?
Yes.
You happy with it?
Why not? All the Egyptians, all the Arabs, all the people of the area must be...
President Mubarak doing a very good job here. He helped push.
For the meeting?
Very important job.
Yes.
You're a reporter with the Egyptian television?
I am the producer.
Producer.
Chief editor.
Just like Elliot Rose, that's my producer.
I know.
What do you think of Mr. Shamir coming?
He came to be the head of his delegation.
Oh boy. Oh.
It's his option.
You're a great diplomat.
Oh, thank you.
Take care. And who have we found here? Jay Bashinsky, our first friend at the Madrid Peace Conference. I'd say he's one of the foremost journalists in Israel for the United States, WINS, Chicago Sun-Times. And he even was on a Leon Charney Report on a program with Andy Meisels for the Daily News and some woman now who's married to the Deputy Chief of Staff. What was her name? Azariah Rappaport's daughter.
Oh, no, that's right.
Holly
Zellinger.
Zellinger.
What was her name?
Zellinger. Looks as handsome as ever. You hear him, now you see him. It's Jay Bashinsky. Jay, what are we going to get? Peace?
Well, I think Mr. Charney is 100% right. Things will never be the same in the Middle East, no matter what happens here, because the talking has started.
The whale can't go back.
Absolutely not.
A friend of mine, a minister, used to be a minister, his name is E.W., spoke with me this morning and said he's very optimistic that ultimately something really will occur.
I think that the taboos have been broken. The whole bugaboo about sitting down together and talking out the dispute, all that's over now.
Got to remind the audience that Jay was on the other side of the road in Camp David. He was interviewing me, finding out whether there was going to be a peace, and now we're together. Life changes, and Jimmy Carter's in Plains. We're back. This is Leon Charney talking to Assad, who is the Prime Minister Shamir's advisor on Jews' affairs. Assad, what do you feel today means to Israel?
I feel it's a great honor for me first to be one of the Israeli delegation to the Peace Conference in Madrid. And I feel that the first time after more than 40 years before between Israel and the Arab countries, that the first time the position of Israel about peace in the Middle East was accepted by the Arab countries and the Arab leader.
You flew in with the Prime Minister today on a plane.
Yeah.
Was he optimistic?
I am optimistic because now, what I said before, that the first time that the Arab leader accept for direct negotiation between Israel and the Arab countries without precondition.
He's very.
And I optimistic because I believe that the Arab leaders, the Arab countries, and the Arab people in the Middle East and Israel, they believe that no solution for the conflict by war. After 5 wars in the Middle East since 1948, now they know, all of them, that only one way to find solution by peace.
Peace. There you have it, Assad, and very meaningful for this gentleman who happens to be a Druze, which is not of the Jewish faith. He's an Arab, and the Jews have done fantastic job for the state of Israel for the last 43 years. Assad, good luck.
Thank you.
Come from?
I'll come from New York City.
Say hello to your mother.
Hey, Mom. She's in Yonkers.
She's in Yonkers?
Yeah.
She's going to see the show on Sunday.
Great. All
You
right,
want to give her a
tell
message?
Yeah, tell
You're
her.
broke? You need some money?
No, I just want to tell her I love her, and waiting for the 23rd of December when she gets here so we can see Spain together.
This is the Super Bowl of media coverage. Massive screens delineating every event that is happening so people don't miss 1 ounce of news, showing them exactly what's happening at all times. But what you see is people hard-pressed to interview people. What's happening here is people are interviewing other people. No hard news has yet come out. What a massive undertaking. The Spanish people have really proven themselves here. Telephone centers, telex centers, color televisions, huge screens. Looks like a science fiction movie. Even Elliot Rose, my producer, has never seen anything like this, and he's been through everything. Wars, peace. Where are you from?
Portugal.
Where?
From Portugal.
Portugal. We're from America, United States television.
Okay.
Is this a big story in Portugal?
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Yeah, well, we have some cultural relationships with Arabs and Jews. That's, our culture is very near of
Middle East culture.
yes, Arabs were in Portugal during 700 years, and Jews, yes, they are exposed from Portugal by one of our kings in the 15th century, but they
So Portugal is really the blend of
yes,
Arab
yeah,
and Jew.
like Spain, almost like Spain. We are very similar in this that culture. I think it's that's why one of the reasons. The other reason, it's a wish that peace could be reached.
Is this a page 1 story in Portugal tomorrow?
Yes, of course.
Big story, huh?
Yes, big story. It's the number of journalists, Portuguese journalists here. It's larger than.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Not so big. I was in Bush and I was in Reagan
Convention?
Gorbachev summit in Moscow. in 18.
And it was the same?
Almost the same. But
New technology.
oh no, it's
This looks like a big soccer football game on the
yes,
screens.
It's a big. Naturally, there are some big differences.
Who do you write for?
I'm from a radio station, network.
Network Radio.
Radio network. Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank
We
you.
hope there's peace for all.
Okay, I wish.
The Israeli delegation in Jordan, the Jordanian delegation in Israel. This is the best confidence.
We hope it will succeed. Israel comes to its own process with open hearts. Our one and only aim is to achieve peace. I think that's the aim also of the American sponsors. And I hope nobody will spoil this effort.
I am very happy to participate in it, to take part in it. Let us hope that it will really bring a new time of prosperity and peace in all the Middle East.
What are your fears, Mr. Shamir, before the conference? Any kind of fears, hesitation?
Fears? No, I don't think about fears now. I don't feel any fears. Hopes.
Is there anything that would stop the momentum of the peace talks now?
Are you optimistic, sir?
If the Arabs will behave themselves like we, there are many chances.
How do you see your job, Mr. Prime Minister? What is your job as you go into these first ever talks
Well,
with
to
Arabs?
protect the Israeli interests and to strive for peace.
Mr. Shamir, why did you accept the 45 minutes additional speech?
Okay, thank you very much.
Abandon mutual fear and mistrust.
I am sure I speak for every man, woman, and child in Israel who join me in the hope that after all, this gathering will be registered in history as a turning point, away from hostility and forward to coexistence and peace.
It would be very difficult to understand how a party could now refuse to attend bilateral negotiations simply because of a disagreement over the site of those negotiations.
Inside here is the Israeli Press Center, where they're trying to make a positive spin on exactly what is happening here. Everybody's out to show his side of the story and make it look good. There's a fight to get world media attention. Inside, you have a bunch of Israeli press people doggedly working to show the Israeli side of the position and how it is going to work beneficially to them. It's important both for the home front and both to world press opinion. This is where the war is. There's absolutely a media war going on, and the public opinion will count as to how the final outcome of the peace conferences, the bilateral talks will occur. This is where it's all at.
I can tell you that it would be better if you do it in English because of the...
In which language did the Jordanians, the Palestinians
English.
do? English.
English.
The Israeli?
English.
English. Okay, then I make it in English.
We're here at the Madrid Press Center, and we're here with the spokesman for the Egyptian, excuse me, but you're friends now anyway, for the Egyptian mission, and your name is?
Nagi El-Batri.
We'll call you Nagi, you call me Leon.
Okay, Leon.
Nagi, I participated in Camp David with President Carter and Ezer Weitzman and Moshe Dayan. You remember those names?
This is a very significant and historic turning point in the history of this area. What Sadat had in mind when he first visited Israel was a comprehensive peace, which would really launch the process of economic development and pushing everything forward economically, socially, and politically in this area in a comprehensive process of democratization also. Unfortunately, it didn't work the way he had in mind. So if this conference is going to succeed, it will be really a fulfillment of the dream of President Sadat. I have one comment on mixing my name with the name of the Israeli delegation. We are having relations of peace, quite normal relations, but not to the extent that we would be the same or identical. Because
Ambassador Bassouni is pretty well integrated in Israel now.
Integrated in Israel, is it?
In society, he's very popular in the society of Israel. He's doing a very good job as an ambassador.
No problem about that. I'm not objecting, but to the contrary, I am happy. And that our diplomatic representatives are feeling ease while they are functioning in Israel. And I believe that the Israeli diplomats also in Cairo feel the same. But this does not contradict with my words.
All right. President Mubarak has really been a key player here. Two very key decisions he made, I think, have really been the progenitor or the building of this peace conference. Number one, he joined the United States in the battle against Kuwait, in the battle to free Kuwait. And I think this indirectly led to this peace conference. And number two, I think that President Mubarak has been able to bring back the Arab League, so to speak, and rejoin it. I remember when Camp David was signed, you were ostracized. Everybody in the Arab world said, we don't want to associate with you anymore. And then Jordan came back, and then Syria came back, and everybody came back. So basically, President Mubarak has been leading the Arab factions here, and I think towards peace. Your opinion of President Bush's comments today, were they fair to all parties?
Yes, to a very far extent. They were fair, or they could be used or taken as a basis for a fair and just settlement. It depends on the real intentions of the parties. But there is a lot of potentialities in his speech.
What will happen with the Palestinians? President Bush called for an interim arrangement, and then a permanent arrangement, but he never made any statement about a Palestinian state today. He called for a permanent arrangement, a permanent status. What is the Egyptian position on this?
Well, this position is well known that we are for the right of self-determination of all the peoples in this area. We also are very keen and interested in the security of all the parties in this area, including Israel. And we think that if we could manage to get the Palestinians in a way which would not jeopardize the security of Israel, then this will be quite an achievement.
So are you hopeful today?
I'm very hopeful.
There you have it. 15 years ago, his country was at war with Israel. The United States brokered a deal. Jimmy Carter put Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin together in a camp called David for 13 days, and out of that blossomed peace, and his children are now not being killed, or his brothers and sisters are not being killed, and the same for the Israelis. The hope at this conference is that this could continue with the Jordanians, with the Palestinians, with the Syrians, and with the Lebanese. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, sir.
We're here here at the Madrid Press Center for the Middle East Peace Conference organized by the United States and a little bit by Russia. But we have a very important gentleman with us. He is in charge of the Jordanian-Palestinian delegation today for press information. Am I correct?
Well, I'm the Jordanian spokesman, but we have also a separate Palestinian spokesman, Dr. Hanan Ashrawi. So I talk on behalf of the Jordanian part of the team.
I have some very good friends. We both share some good friends, the Kamal family. Mr. Kamal was ambassador from Jordan to Washington and developed some wonderful relationships in the United States. And he was a man he is a man fighting for peace all the time. How do you feel today? It must be very emotional for you.
It is an emotional moment. We came with a very positive attitude, and it is really a moment where we feel peace can be achieved. We know it will not be easy. It will be a long road, but we're very hopeful that finally we're going to achieve a comprehensive settlement.
What do you feel would be the appropriate settlement? How do you think the appropriate settlement will come about?
Well, President Bush in his March 6th speech talked about two important points: land for peace and political rights for the Palestinians. And we feel this constitutes a very good and sound basis for a political settlement. Unless there is land, unless land is returned to the Palestinians, and unless they are given their political rights, we do not feel that we will be able to achieve that comprehensive settlement peace we're talking about.
There have been many people who have suggested that the Palestinians have full autonomy, which means they have a self-governing, self-determination entity, but that the foreign ministry and the defense ministry would be associated with Jordan. What would be your feeling about something like that?
Well, our feeling is that the Palestinians should have the right to choose for themselves the kind of autonomy or the kind of the full extent of their political rights. If they choose self-autonomy or if they choose an independent state, we feel this is a decision that has to be made by them, and Jordan afterwards is ready to cooperate with them in any formula that can be worked out.
There have been many books written lately about the connection indirectly between Jordan and Israel, and we know that Shimon Peres met with the king in London and was about to strike some kind of deal, let's say. And basically there's sort of a warm, indirect relationship between the Jordanians and the Israelis. How do you codify that? How do you make that stronger?
Well, I'm not sure how warm that relationship is. I want to disagree with you here. I think there still is a lot of feelings of animosity on both sides, and I'm not sure there is a warm feeling. But there is a feeling that peace has to be achieved, that we have to look at at events with a fresh look, that the absence of peace serves no one in the region, and that is why we come here ready to make peace.
Do you think after today there's any turning backwards?
I certainly hope not. If we fail at the conference, then we are plunging the area into an era of radicalism and violence that we really are not anxious to see. So I hope we will not fail.
The Soviet Union was a bit of a player today, but would you agree with me that the United States is the major player since the Soviet Union? We're not sure what the Soviet Union is anymore.
Well, the Soviet Union definitely has its own problems, but it is a co-chairman and an important one, we feel. It is still a member of the Security Council, and it hosts the conference together with President Bush. And the principles outlined by the Soviet Union are the same as those outlined by the United States, in that any resettlement has to be based on United Nations resolutions.
The fact that the Palestinian delegation is together with you, is there any symbolism in that?
Well, we certainly provided the umbrella for the Palestinians' presence at the conference to be acceptable to everybody, including the Palestinians themselves, and we think we have played an important role in that. Certainly the Jordanians and the Palestinians have always enjoyed a special relationship between them. We have a lot of intermarriages between us and a lot of special relationships. And whether that will translate itself into a future relationship, I think that cooperation and coordination will continue in the future.
You listened to President Bush's speech, I assume, this morning.
Yes.
How did you feel about what he said?
I think it was a moderate, a positive speech. There were some omissions that we would have liked to see, like the principle of land for peace, for example, but we were struck by the fact that he did mention fairness, and that fairness is important to legitimacy, and there can be no legitimacy without fairness. He did mention a meaningful control of the Palestinians over their resources and land, and he did mention resolutions 242 and the need to implement UN resolutions. So we feel it was a moderate and a positive speech, and we hope that the United States will continue to play a role in the peace process.
What do you think he meant by territorial compromise?
Well, you have to ask the president that.
He's not over there now, so we're only guessing now. He's gone. He's back in Washington worrying about the budget.
Yes, but I mean, our interpretation of territorial compromise is the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from territories occupied in 1967.
So that's 242 UN resolution?
242 resolution, which the whole conference is based upon.
The Jordanians about 9 months ago were pretty close to Saddam Hussein. What's that relationship today?
Well, certainly the Jordanian government took a position that opposed the annexation of Kuwait, and we have not deviated from that position. What the Jordanians stood for were against foreign intervention in the area and not with Saddam Hussein, and that position has not changed. However, we feel this is a new era, and we should concentrate our energies now on the peace process, which we are doing, and like I said, we hope that we will achieve that peace.
You know, it's fascinating. The Syrians are here, the Jordanians, the Israelis. Everybody's passing each other, saying hello, saying a few words to each other. It's what I call ping-pong diplomacy, which started during Nixon's days. Do you have any compunction, or do you have any, do you fear, or are you, can you speak to an Israeli? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. You know, on a human level, we're both human, and there is nothing that prevents us from speaking. Of course, that doesn't mean we don't have political differences, which we are here today to try to solve these differences.
Well, the Republicans and Democrats have differences. And they sit in the same Congress.
Well, but they don't take each other's lands and fight each other with war. So it is a different situation. But certainly we hope that meaningful and peaceful settlement.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope to see you in about a year, signing of a peace treaty.
Inshallah, thank you.
Inshallah.
About the murder of my wife, who was on Pan Am Flight 103, which was exploded by a Syrian bomb, killing all 259 on board and 11 more on the ground. And I'm here to remind the world about the murderous record of Hafez Assad. We all want peace. We all are for this peace conference. But there can be no peace without justice.
Why do we have to go around circling the globe looking for this city or that city? Why shouldn't we talk peace where peace is most needed?
We're back, continuing our dialogue with Israelis and Arabs. We are now getting our impressions from those people about President Bush's speech this morning and President Gorbachev. And amongst them is an Israeli Arab, Dr. Ahmed Tibi, who's been a very active personality in Israeli affairs, in Israeli Arab affairs, and he's here as an analyst as to what is going on, writing for some Israeli newspapers, and also as an advisor to the Palestinian Arabs who are in the delegation. Ahmed, big day for you today.
Yes, the two parties for the first time in history are sitting together. That's very important. For the first time in history, the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Shamir, ex-commander of the Lehi underground, is sitting with the leader of the Palestinian delegation. You know, I'm watching, I can't believe. And talking about Shamir agreeing to sit with this great man as the head of the Palestinian delegation is a step forward, is a great step forward. The psychological barrier of not to sit together, not to talk, was destroyed today because of Mr. George Bush initiative. And we were witness today to the speech of President Bush. We heard some new tones in his speech. The Palestinians anticipated more from Mr. Bush.
Are they disappointed?
There is some disappointment because the speech, some thought it was shorter than Camp David. You know, in Camp David they talked about the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people, and Mr. Bush didn't mention it. There is no mention of self-determination. There is no mention of putting an end to occupation. These sentences were used by Mr. Bush in the past. There was no mention for stopping settlements inside the occupied territories. Besides that, Mr. Bush said that the Palestinians should arrive at a situation to control their future and their destiny. This was a new tone, a new style, but it is shorter than self-determination. Even that, we should continue in the conference, continue to talk, dialogue directly between parties, Palestinians and Israelis, Jordanians and Israelis, Syrians and Israelis, Lebanese and Israelis, because without dialogue, no peace can be achieved. And when we are talking, the chance of killing is less. Even that we know and we're anticipating these days that bloodshed is continuing.
Ahmed, what about this snag that Prime Minister Shamir was upset about, the fact that the Palestinian was going to be given the right to speak for 45 minutes along with the Jordanian? Why was he so upset about that?
You know, Mr. Shamir is trying to cover the truth. He sees the truth, but he's denying it. Palestinian-Jordanian delegation is a slogan. The fact is that the Palestinians and the Jordanians are separate delegations. These are independent delegations. The Palestinians will have the right to talk independently in the conference. The Palestinians are living alone. The Palestinians are consulting each other alone. There are all signs that these two delegations are separate. And I think that it's part of the game. Mr. Shamir trying to gain points, and he's not succeeded. Meanwhile, it was agreed with the Americans, Palestinian-American agreement before the conference, and this is a fulfilling of this agreement. It's natural.
What do you feel the people back home in your country, in Israel, will do seeing Shamir sitting at the table? I'm talking about the right-wingers. How do you think they're going to react?
I said today, and I write, that I am watching Shamir, seeing him, I can't believe it. You know, this man is sitting with a PLO delegation, even that there is no PLO official there. Dr. Haidar Abdel Shafi is one of the founders of the PLO. He's a member now of the PNC, Palestinian National Council of the PLO. One of the Palestinian representatives have already declared that he represents the PLO, and he was chosen and approved by the PLO. I think it is very difficult for the right radical wing in Israel to digest these pictures, this view, but you know, history is continuing and is made even there is radical, and it is natural that these radicals from the both sides are exist.
As an analyst in Israel today, would you say it's a possibility that if he lost his right-wing partners, he could count on Shimon Peres and the Labour Party to support him and perhaps form a new unity government which would go forward with the peace process?
I doubt it, because he don't want to count on Shimon Peres. Even Shimon Peres is ready to do so. He was preferred to count on Yitzhak Rabin maybe, but as a principle, a unity government now in Israel is not will not be a fact. I think that if the right wing will go away from the government, he will go to premature elections.
To quick elections?
Yes.
What is the role of Arafat in all this?
You know, Arafat had picked the names, he approved the names, he chose this delegation from the West Bank and Gaza. He's the man commanding all the Palestinian moves, and the flexibility that Mr. Arafat has expressed in the last Palestinian Central Council and the Palestinian National Council, and Mr. Baker knows these facts very well. I think that...
is that public knowledge? Or we have a scoop?
I insist in saying it again. Mr. Arafat chose the names name by name and approved these names from the West Bank. No Palestinian can come to this conference without the approval personally of Mr. Yasser Arafat. This is a well-known fact to Mr. Baker.
Wow. I've not read that in the Jerusalem Post.
You are hearing it now.
This is a scoop for the Leon Charney report. I don't think we can wait till Sunday. I think we'll have to let this go right away. And this is a man who knows the politics of the Palestinians and the Israelis, possible member of the Knesset.
Even, Leon, Dr. Haidar Abdel-Shafi, when he was supposed to be elected as chairman of the Palestinian delegation, a vote in the executive committee of the PLO, he won unanimously.
Unanimously?
Yes.
So let me get this straight, Ahmed. This is very big stuff. Chairman Yasser Arafat has basically picked and blessed this entire delegation. So de facto, he is chairman of the Palestinian delegation that is sitting here in conjunction with the Jordanian delegation. True or false?
Definitely true.
There you have it. Ahmed Tibi, one of the most reliable sources on the Palestinians and the PLO in the world today, and probably one of the future leaders of a Palestinian entity. We don't know what it will be. That's what the negotiations are all about. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Liam.
Mr. Foreign Minister, what is the role of Yasser Arafat with the Jordanian government as of today?
Mr. Yasser Arafat is the president of the Palestinian state that has been agreed to and recognized by the vast majority of the states in the world. The Palestinian people honor him and respect him and take him as their leader. And I have no place to ask the Palestinian people, and I do not think it is the right of anybody to ask the Palestinian people to question their right to choose their own leader.
Has he coordinated the Palestinians in your delegation?
Has he, Mr. Arafat? Not with me, but I suppose Mr. Arafat visits Jordan, as you know, quite frequently. And in fact, really, a lot of Palestinians from the PLO and from without the PLO reside in Amman. So we, the Palestinian people, or a great number of Palestinian people, are Jordanian citizens. And so we respect their opinions, we respect their right, we respect their freedom to move and to express their opinions in any manner or form that they see fit to do so. You think that...
It looks... Are you an American? Where are you from?
Burlington, North Carolina.
How do you feel about this peace conference?
Oh, well, we just got here to... don't know a whole lot about it. I hope it works out, though. Hope they accomplish something.
What do you feel about us American taxpayers paying for all this?
Oh, we'll pay for everything.
Really? You want to pay for my television studio?
Oh, no. We're just glad to be over in Madrid with you people.
See Secretary of State?
Yes, we did.
Is that exciting?
Yes, it's handsome-looking gentleman.
How do you feel about the Americans spending so much money to bring this peace conference together? You're a taxpayer.
Well, that's okay. That helps the world.
if it all gets together and has peace, it makes it better for all of us.
See the Secretary of State now?
I have seen him, yeah. I've been here for 2 days.
Did that get you excited?
Yeah. It's
Why?
very enjoyable. Well, it's nice to see you come to Madrid maybe. This is my second visit. But it's a memorable time for me here, just to be here on the start of this conference, you know?
It's exciting for you.
I think so, yeah. It's just added to the holiday. Anyway, thanks a lot.
Good golfing. I bet you're a golfer.
That's right, yes indeed.
How'd I guess?
Where are you from?
New York.
Oh, I see. And this is what? This is you.
This is television. This is the Leon Charney report.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Safe journey back.
You too.
Bye now.
Sir. Well, you think the Secretary of State is living in poverty? No. This is the Palace Hotel in Madrid where Secretary of State Baker and his entourage is staying. It's not exactly a shabby place, as you can see by the grandeur of this main lobby. It seems to be one of the most beautiful hotels we have ever been in. Elliot Rose, my producer, probably has been in more exciting and more vibrant and more sexy hotels, but I think this is sufficient for the Secretary of State. Taxpayers should know where the money is going. The service is excellent. The food is superb. This is not a paid commercial for the Palace Hotel. I just want people to know that Mr. Baker is not suffering. I don't want you to feel he's suffering. He's doing pretty good. When he walked out this morning, his shirts were very clean, his suits were pressed. He was representative of the Secretary of State of the United States. If anybody was worried, I hope your fears are allayed. We'll be back to continue our insight into how a peace process continues, goes on, starts, and hopefully finishes with peace. Don't leave us. What's your name?
And now Mr. Pacer, Jim Pacer.
Jim Pacer, providing all the cars, all the wheels to get Margaret Tutwiler and James Baker and Dennis Roth and Karen and Kurtzer and everybody over to the Madrid Peace Conference. How do you think it's going, by the way?
I think it's going just fine. And I'd like to mention we also provide all of the translation expertise that needs to be done in a moment's notice.
Come, let's go. We're going to the Palace. The Miracle Palace, where the miracle of Middle East peace is going to be established. The two-day conference, which, as Jim said before, is going to be the Miracle Mile. Nothing is the same anymore in the Middle East. Things have changed. As we've continuously said on our show, the Israelis have sat down with the Arabs for the first time in the history of both countries, and something is going on. Whether it will proceed and progress in the way that everybody wants it to come out, no one ever wins. What you do in negotiations is you compromise, you give and you take. The question is who is going to give and who is going to take. Whether Israel can stand giving back territories is something that is very dubious in my mind today in terms of what the government represents. The Likud government, in my opinion, cannot give back any territory, nor can it give up the Golan Heights. But things could change. Shamir's government could twist and they could have a unity government with Shimon Peres backing him up. Jim, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I enjoy doing this.
Any network that doesn't pick this man to be a journalist
is crazy.
It's foolish. We're about to wrap up our 2 days in Madrid, watching how the peace conference began and seeing how it's continuing. One thing of interest, by the way, Jim pointed this out to us. It's the first time that the KGB and the United States Secret Service are working in tandem. Things have really changed in this world. In any case, I think things are very serious now. We've spoken to Palestinians, to Jordanians, to Syrians, to Kuwaitis, to the Gulf people, to the Saudis. We've gotten opinions from the Israelis. Our opinion is that this is going to be a very long process, a very tough process. Mr. Shamir is going to face some real hostility when he comes home. We've heard reports from Israel that many people are very upset about the fact that President Bush has called for territorial compromise. Most of the things that we are talking about you have not seen on your network television. We are basically an analytical show for the Madrid conference. And our analysis is that it's going to be long, hard, tedious, that people are going to become tired, but hopefully the end result will be no more killing. We'll see you next week with another show.